Welcome to today's special meeting of the County Regional Homelessness Authority Governing Committee. Today we're going to have a very special meeting. It's going to be jam-packed with awesome votes, and I'm happy that you all are here today to participate. Sir, when you're ready, please call roll.
All right, Nancy Backus.
Here.
Angela Burney.
Here.
Dow Constantine.
Here.
Reagan Dunn. Jenny Durkin.
Here.
Lorena Gonzalez.
Present.
Jonathan Hemphill.
Here.
Andrew Lewis. We know is having some trouble connecting. We'll locate him in a moment. Kirk McLean. Joe McDermott.
Here.
Ed Prince.
Here.
Zanita Reed.
Here.
And looks like we have Reagan Dunn. Reagan?
I'm here, thank you.
All right, that is 10 members present, and I will update you when we can get Andrew Lewis in the meeting.
All right. As a brief reminder, if you would like to speak, please raise your hand by clicking the button on the right side of your screen. If you have any problems with the raise hand function, please comment in the chat, and Sarah and our staff team will work to help you solve the problem. I guess right now, and it would be all right to move to public comment. So, yes.
So folks joining us, if you would like to enter public comment, please either raise your hand or enter your name in the chat function. You can start doing that now. We will call on you on the order in which you are entered into the queue. So folks who are attending, again, either raise your hand or enter your name in the chat function, and we will call on you when it is your turn to speak. You will have 2 minutes. And as of this moment, we do not have anyone signed up for public comment.
Okay. We'll just wait a couple more minutes, and then we'll move on to the next part. Well, all right then. I see we have no one signed up. We'll move on to our next item. We'll leave the chat function open during the next presentation of anyone who did not get a chance to speak would like to speak and submit any written comments, however. Next on our list in the agenda is the implementation board presentation of the recommended CEO. So I guess we will now hear from the implementation board co-chairs Nate Caminos and Harold Odom, who will be presenting the implementation board recommended candidate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon, members of the governing committee. Included in your meeting packet today, there's a timeline of the Regional Homelessness Authority CEO hiring process that started with the RFP for a recruitment firm last summer to where we are now before you today, in addition to the CEO search committee. 4 candidates were approved by the appointed CEO search committee for interviews by the implementation board. These candidates were selected after a lengthy stakeholder engagement process, national recruitment and initial interviews run by the Hawkins Company out of Los Angeles. The prospective candidates represent a diverse and varied background of skills and experience that best adhere to the selection criteria that was developed throughout this process. Candidates were sourced, evaluated, and screened to align with the following criteria: homelessness experience, racial equity and social justice, equity-driven financial expertise, political and grassroots community organizing skills, and strong management and communication experience. After preliminary interviews on January 15th, the implementation board chose 2 final candidates to continue. Then the Lived Experience Coalition and the Sound Cities Association held separate meet and greets with the candidates last week. Yesterday's meeting, we hosted all of you from the governing committee for the final round interviews, and earlier this morning, the implementation board voted unanimously for Regina Cannon as our recommendation of a chief executive officer for your consideration in the form of a resolution that is before you today. Before I speak to Regina's background, I do want to take a moment to say that we were all very fortunate to have had such a competitive pool of candidates apply, and for us to consider, especially with our remaining finalists. We were presented with a slate of highly qualified candidates and 2 finalists who brought a systems approach, a sense of urgency, and are committed to racial equity and centering the voices of those who experience homelessness. It was evident that, like Regina, the values of equity, diversity, inclusion, and the theory of change weren't just sound bites to them, but have been ingrained as an essential part of their DNA in everything they do. We very much appreciate the finalist candidacy with us throughout this process and hope to partner with them in the future. Now on to our recommended candidate. Regina Cannon currently serves as the Chief Equity and Impact Officer for the Center for Social Innovation, more popularly known as C4 Innovations, where she leads C4's internal and external equity and impact initiatives. Based in Massachusetts, the organization is a values and mission-driven women-owned small business that develops and implements approaches that advance person-centered care, support recovery and stable housing, achieve health and wellness, and affect lasting social change. Regina also serves as a National Director of SPARK, the Supporting Partnerships for Anti-Racist Communities Initiative, where among other notable accomplishments, she designed a 5-city demonstration project to develop a more equitable assessment tool to match housing and services to youth, single adults, and families experiencing homelessness. During her time in New York, she developed projects with public housing authorities across 4 states that resulted in more than 500,000 new supportive housing units for individuals experiencing chronic homelessness. Regina has dedicated her career to being vocal, active leader fighting for equitable policies, systems, and institutions addressing marginalization of people of color. She has more than 18 years of experience leading anti-poverty initiatives addressing homelessness, supportive housing, criminal justice reform, community capacity building, and youth leadership development. Previously, Regina was Southeast Director for Corporation of Supportive Housing in New York. She worked with communities to transform systems of care into data and performance-driven systems that provide sustainable, permanent housing to those experiencing homelessness. She managed a large portfolio of initiatives across multiple sectors, addressing frequent user service enhancement with healthcare and criminal justice partners, Move On with public housing authorities, and supportive housing development with nonprofit organizations and local developers. Regina has managed mental health and drug court programs, as well as restorative board programs for young adults engaged in the criminal justice system in Atlanta. She was also an assistant professor at Bennett College and received her master's degree in counseling and developmental psychopathology from Florida State University, and has a certification in conflict management with her work on behalf of the state of Georgia. Regina has a proven track record in bringing all levels of government, service providers, and diverse communities together, all while leading several large initiatives to address homelessness throughout the country with an equity lens. For Regina, housing is a human right and serves as the overall value of how she defines her work by ensuring that everyone, first and foremost, is treated with dignity and respect. She has demonstrated the ability to bring together diverse stakeholders and interests to change systems and improve the lives of people who are experiencing homelessness. We're excited about the opportunity to welcome Regina Cannon into making King County our new home as we continue to build out our team to put all of our planning into action. While there's a lot to say about Regina's background and qualifications, pending the governing committee's review and consideration today, we are hopeful she will personally have the opportunity to share more about herself to all of you and our public at large as our new Chief Executive Officer. Before I pass it on to Harold for any additional comments he'd like to add, on behalf of the Implementation Board, we both wanted to express our sincere appreciation to the support staff, the Hawkins Group, and to the many behind the scenes, especially Sola Plumacher, Jeannie McNabb, and Carrie Flory for all their late nights and working weekends with Harold and I these past several weeks in getting us to this point. And with that, I'll now pass it on to my fellow co-chair, Harold Oldham. Harold?
I swear that unmute button, it just gets away from me. How's everyone doing this afternoon? And I also like to, and our support staff, Gabriel, with the city. We've been in 5 meetings this week, or over the last 5 days, of the Implementation Board, both early and late night, getting things done and just bringing ourselves up to speed. And I appreciate our staff and the Implementation Board for just being able to be negotiable and willing to get this work done and get our CEO in place and move on. My name's Harold Odom from the Lived Experience Coalition. In saying that, when I joined this board, I was intentional about saying that the homeless situation, whether it's a state of emergency, state of flux, however you want to describe it, it's not human. The only people who I understand from my research in government, human rights, things like that, they're only the government, city council, county council, our mayor, executive. Why aren't we being more lobbyists for the homeless? Lived experience is the only group that's going to be a lobbyist for the homeless. Council President Gonzalez, I love your story, and I love, excuse me, I love how you pronounce different things throughout your life, and you're not ashamed, and it makes you proud. I understand from being a man, especially a Black man in this country, I've had some things go wrong, but I've always had a diverse and uplifting family that moved me forward, even when things were unimaginably wrong. A lot of people don't have this in this community. Regina Campbell brings that love to this community in a way I've not seen. She's unapologetic. In lived experience, had our meet and greet. We had 12 of our community members, and I think over 30 people to our meet and greet. It lasted almost 3 hours. We came away unanimously charged by Regina Campbell. The other candidate was great, and I was for the other candidate. She changed my mind, not only the way she came in and presented herself, but she had a presence that calmed the room. We're going to get to work. We're going to get this stuff done. Over the last year, I've taken down what words I just don't want to hear ever again. And one of them is unintentional or unfortunate. That's an unfortunate story. Or it's unintentional that happened. People of color, people who move to the margins, have unintentional too many times in front of their name. It's unintentional that viruses or vaccines were not given to those people in line, but the richest zip codes receive and are still receiving vaccines when they don't need them. Unintentional, unfortunate. But where's the political will to get things done? I'm excited about Regina Campbell, and I have to apologize because I feel I'm about to run out of breath. I'm just getting, this is my second week back at work. I contracted coronavirus, and for 8 days, fought for my life in the hospital. Debilitating. We know that people of color, Black, brown, poor white people at the margins are not being taken care of. We all have to ask ourselves why that is and come up with our own decisions. Regina brings that love again to the table. And it's exciting over the last week to hear her in so many different venues and coming up with different really expressions, not of, oh, I have this already packaged, but how it can be done. And always she wants to say, I have to be invited to that table. And then I'll listen, I'll come. And it was impressive to hear that. I'm excited over the next few months that we'll be moving forward. Nate and I have a communication team that we want to set up so all of the 39 cities will be heard. And she's willing to as well reach out, go to wherever she needs to go, because there are ideas out there that we don't know about and we need to bring to the table. I look forward to over the next few weeks getting to know her, over the next month or two getting to work with her. The implementation board has a busy and robust schedule that we want to put forward. And we hope that governance committee will be asking questions, coming and joining us and giving their ideas, and really work on this to significantly cut how many people are homeless. The big takeaway I always look at the end of the year and hope it goes down are those people who die on the street, whether it's from violence, exposure, whatever it is. I wait for that coroner's report. Every year it keeps going up, up, up. I know all of us have been down Third and have seen those 3 people who are in wheelchairs, who sleep on the street every night. I try contacting them. I'm gonna make it my project to get them into housing or some type, because that's not a human right. That's a human disgrace of our own community and how we work at things. Brookings Institute says, just put a little bit of money into boys and girls of color and they'll surprise you. They'll be presidents of councils. They'll be doing things that will make us happy. It says the same thing about homeless people. Get them into housing and they'll surprise you. They'll stay there. Thank you. And again, we bring this resolution to you for your consideration and with a unanimous backing of the implementation board.
Thank you, co-chairs Harold Odom and Nate Caminos of the implementation board. Are there any questions or comments on this recommendation? No. All right. Hearing none, we'll move on to our next item. Thank you again, Chair Caminos and Chair Odom, and God bless you.
Thank you.
All right, on to our next item here, the Governing Committee consideration of the CEO candidate. We will now consider the Implementation Board resolution recommending Regina Cannon for the CEO. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Move to adopt the resolution. This is Durkin.
Second by Backus.
Right, the motion is carried in second. Approved. Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, this is Board Member Backus, if I may.
Yes,
I would like to thank the Implementation Board, the consultants, everyone that has been a part of this process. There were times, I will be honest with you, that I wasn't sure we were going to succeed with this. It can be a very frustrating process at times, but I think we definitely got where we need to be with this. And yesterday and today, hearing the comments from the Implementation Board, from the Lived Experience Coalition, it warms my heart to know that we are getting ready to embark on something that is going to change the lives of so many and in a positive way. And I am excited to be a part of that process. Thank you.
No, thank you, Nancy. Miss Angela. I was going to call you Miss Bernie. Angela, there we go. Like you asked.
Thank you, Mr. Hempel. Thank you, Chair. I also wanted to second the nomination. I'm quite excited to see what Ms. Cannon will do for this new authority. I was extremely impressed by her in the process. I felt that she comes with, as was mentioned by the Implementation Board recommendation, a sense of calm, a sense of love, and I think that that is something that this organization needs indeed, as well as her extensive experience in her life in this work. I also want to thank the Implementation Board for doing all the work as well as the staff involved. This was quite a process. It wasn't even a year ago that we finally stood this up, this governing board, to get to this point. So I am I'm grateful for the board. I'm grateful for the staff to get us to this point, and I wholeheartedly support this nomination.
Thank you, Angela. Is there any further discussion or comment? Andrew Lewis.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Just to make a couple of brief comments, I am so excited to be voting today in favor of moving Regina forward and putting her in this critical position. I echo some of the sentiments that have been raised before, that not just for any reasons over regional disagreements on how to approach the issue of homelessness, but just the logistical challenges of standing this up in a time of COVID, and of all the other challenges that have been presented to all of the jurisdictions that are represented here. Just that we all decided to to maintain and commit to a process to come together and really make this work and appoint a really great leader that can put in place the kind of leadership and experience that is necessary for this undertaking to really start making solid progress on this issue. And I think it's really a testament to the old saying of, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And by picking Regina, we've really picked a leader that can help us really realize our shared interests and shared goals, and really start confronting this in a way that's going to center equity, that's going to bring everybody to the table, and that is going to finally stand up some support and assistance for the folks that Harold spoke about in his remarks, who we really need to be centering and moving forward to serve with this undertaking, and Regina will get us there. So I can't be more excited to go back to the City Council in Seattle on Monday and announce that we have approved a fantastic leader for this effort to really start moving forward in a regional and collaborative way. So thank you.
Thank you. Dow?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Very quickly, the process for hiring a CEO obviously has been longer than any of us would have hoped, or that we thought when we signed the interlocal agreement more than a year ago. But we have had the intervention of a global pandemic that has unarguably slowed things down. Ultimately, though, I'm really proud of the work of the Implementation Board and the Governing Committee to get us to this important step. And as we hoped and as we promised, I believe in this process we've centered lived experience in this work. Regina Cannon, should she be confirmed, has a challenging job ahead of her, and I'm confident that she will meet the challenge, and I'm looking forward to our continued work to be more impactful in helping our homeless neighbors transition into housing with an able staffer at the permanent helm. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dow. Miss Jenny, you're up next.
Thank you very much, and I will keep it brief because much has been said. First, I do want to acknowledge and thank Mark Dones for his work and candidacy. None of us would be sitting here had he not helped us get here. There were many times during this process that I thought we wouldn't make it over the finish line and get this thing up and running, but we did. And it was largely due to his great efforts, talking to people, working with stakeholders. So I want to thank him. And I think we all agree that our choice today of Regina Cannon does not mean that Mark Dones has not contributed, because he did. I was proud to be able to be the person to move, though I think there were many hands who wanted to do this. I was very surprised coming in because I'd never met Ms. Cannon and I knew her only from the paper. I thought her interview showed just a demonstrated capability to listen, but then to lead. And to bring people along. And I think that this has taken longer than we wanted, but I think that COVID slowed so much down, and that all of us can feel good that we've got a candidate here who's done something that none of us have done before, and that is get all sides to agree to something on this issue and to bring everybody along at one time, which I think portends very well for our efforts. There will still be times that there's disagreement in these rooms. There will be times that we are angry with each other. There'll be times we're collaborating with each other. And I saw in Regina the ability to make sure that we stayed focused on the mission and move us together, and to listen deeply to people with lived experience, and to always focus our efforts on those people who are experiencing homelessness, on this humanitarian crisis that we all seek to resolve. So very pleased where we're going, and I think can't wait to get her here and put her to work.
All right.
Can I just add one more thing? The search team and the folks who brought us here, and particularly the work that the Lived Experience Coalition did, was phenomenal. And I don't think we can lose sight of that either, that level of work to get us to this place, I think all of us owe a debt of gratitude.
Thank you for your commentary. All right. Would anyone else like to say anything? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Oh, there we go. Sunita.
Yeah, I just want to thank the Hawkins group too. Yes, it's been a long process, but I am so excited for this new journey. And I think not just myself, but I'm sure the other lived experience members, we're super excited to work with not just like the county, but our surrounding region, you know, and for us all to come together to make this happen has been amazing. And so we're just really looking forward to continuing this partnership and hopefully getting it deeper and really creating change for our unsheltered neighbors who I think have been waiting for this too long. So I want to thank everybody for being a part of this.
Awesome, awesome. All right, one more time. Does anyone else have any commentary? No? You sure? Okay. Well, hearing none, we will now move to a vote on the motion to approve Regina Cannon for the position of CEO as recommended by the Implementation Board. Reminder, this vote will require a 2/3 majority to pass. Sarah, would you please take roll call on the vote?
Nancy Backus,
A resounding aye.
Angela Burney,
Aye.
Dow Constantine,
Aye.
Reagan Dunn,
Aye.
Jenny Durkin,
Aye.
Lorena Gonzalez,
Aye.
Jonathan Hemphill,
Aye.
Andrew Lewis,
Aye.
Kirk McLean. Kirk, could you repeat your vote? Could you do a thumbs up? That is an aye. Joe McDermott,
Aye.
Ed Prince,
Aye.
Zanita Reed.
Aye.
That is 12 ayes.
All right, this motion passes. And with that, a resolution confirming this vote will be drafted and distributed to the governing committee co-chairs for signatures following this meeting. If there's nothing else, we can conclude our business for this meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 18th at 10 a.m.
Woohoo!
I will now entertain, everybody's celebrating, here we go. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
This is Nancy. I'll second.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all today. Oh, wait, all in favor say aye, I'm sorry.
Aye.
There you go. All opposed say nay. Okay, everybody wants to go. All right, the nays have had it. Let's adjourn this meeting. I'll see you guys later.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
There.